Hey everyone, and welcome to Maths Made Easy. All right, what if I told you that one single day on the calendar, April 2nd, is the secret link between the world's biggest search engine, the security on your phone, and the clearest pictures we have of the universe? It sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, today we're diving into what makes this one date a golden day in math history. It's a coincidence that's just almost too perfect to be real.
So, the one thing that ties all of our stories together today is this incredible coincidence. We're about to meet three absolutely brilliant people, and they're all connected by this one day, April 2nd. Seriously, it's a date that somehow holds this special place in the story of math, and it ended up shaping our world in ways these guys could never, ever have imagined.
So, what is it about April 2nd? I mean, is it just random chance, or is something else going on? We're about to find out, because we're going to meet three people whose work totally changed our world. I'm talking everything from the name of your favorite search engine to the security on your phone. And we're going to start with a name that, trust me, you definitely know, even if you don't think you do.
All right, our first stop on this journey is with the guy who helped us put a name to numbers that are just unimaginably huge. And he didn't just crunch numbers. He gave one a name that, almost by a total accident, ended up becoming one of the most famous words on the entire planet.
So, meet Edward Kasner. He was born on, you guessed it, April 2nd, 1878. Now, Kasner had this problem. He needed a name for a number, a 1 followed by 100 zeros. But instead of digging through old textbooks, you know what he did? He just asked his 9-year-old nephew. And the name his nephew came up with was Googol. Fast forward a bunch of years, and the founders of a brand new search engine needed a name that could capture the massive amount of information they were organizing. So they picked Google. And a simple typo, a misspelling, gave us Google. Wild, right?
And this story just perfectly nails the power of a name, doesn't it? It takes something totally abstract and makes it feel real, something you can actually talk about. It really makes you think. If a simple, made-up word can make a number that big feel real, what other huge ideas out there are just waiting for someone to give them the right name?
Okay, so we went from a word that made something huge visible to a guy whose math was all about keeping things totally hidden. Our next story is going to take us deep into the secret world of wartime codebreaking, where something like abstract math became a literal weapon. This is Thomas Gerald Room, and he passed away on April 2nd, 1986. Now, during World War II, this professor wasn't just teaching geometry. He was a major player in a top-secret Australian intelligence unit. His most important work wasn't in a lecture hall, it was in cryptography. He actually led a team that broke Japanese military codes. And get this, the very basics of the encryption that keeps your emails and your bank account safe today, it all started with the kind of high-stakes secret math that Professor Room was working on. I mean, that's a pretty incredible leap, isn't it? Think about it. How does something that sounds so academic, so theoretical, turn into a real-world tool so powerful it can protect military secrets? And now, all of our own private stuff online. All right, so we've gone from the unimaginably big to the secretly hidden. Now let's turn our eyes up to the stars, to the infinitely far away. Our last mathematician for the day didn't just look at the universe. He completely changed how clearly we could all see it. Let's talk about Frank Elmore Ross, who was born on, you know the date, April 2nd, 1874. So Ross was both a mathematician and an astronomer, and he tackled this one really specific problem that was a huge deal. See, big telescopes back then had this issue where photos would get kind of blurry around the edges. It's a flaw called a coma. So what did Ross do? He invented this amazing but simple special lens that just fixed it. It's called a corrector, and it was a total game changer. It's the reason we get those incredibly sharp, detailed pictures from giant telescopes like the famous one at Palomar. You know, Ross's work is such a perfect metaphor for so many things. He found this tiny, invisible flaw, came up with a clever fix, and boom, he revealed a reality that was way clearer and more beautiful than before. It just makes you wonder, right? What other blurry edges are out there in our world, just waiting for someone with a fresh idea to bring everything into focus? So let's just pull this all together. You've got Edward Kasner, born on April 2nd, whose nephew's funny little word gave us Google. Then you have Frank Ross, also born that same day, whose invention lets us see deep into space with perfect clarity. And then there's Thomas Room, who died on April 2nd, whose secret wartime math is why our digital lives are secure. Naming the infinite, hiding the secret, and seeing the distant. All of it, somehow, tied to this one single day. Which brings us right back to where we started. One day on the calendar. A day that gave us two men who helped us name the impossibly big and see the impossibly far. And the very same day that marked the passing of the man who helped secure our world. So, is this all just one big fascinating coincidence? Or is it possible that history has these little patterns, these beautiful, unexpected moments where everything just seems to line up? It really leaves you wondering, what other secrets, what other connections are hiding in plain sight on the calendar, just waiting for us to notice? Thanks so much for joining me today, and as always, keep asking questions.